welcome to AIDS Life Cycle Training Ride Leader Certification Program video.
Video, baby.
We are in the 21st century. My name is John Elliott Kirk. I am a senior cyclist rep here in San Francisco for AIDS Life Cycle. I use he, him, his pronouns.
And I'm Megan Riley. I'm one of the senior cycle reps in Los Angeles, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. So welcome. We're very excited to have you.
Yeah, thank you for volunteering a big chunk of your life to help other participants in AIDS Life Cycle. We're going to walk you through the program today and tell you what it's all about and get you prepared to go out on your first, or maybe not your first, training ride as a TRL.
Yeah, so a lot of you are probably recertifying, so a lot of this information is just going to be like a refresher. For others of you, you're watching this for the very first time, and you're probably certifying to be a training ride leader somewhere outside of California, and so I just want to give you a special shout out and a thank you because, I mean, truly, like the training ride program is the bread and butter of AIDS Life Cycle, and it's what gets people on the ride. So if you have cyclists out in like Minneapolis and there's a training ride leader, who can kind of help steward them, you're going to make them feel like they actually can do this. And it's a benefit that a lot of people who don't live in California don't often get to take advantage of.
Right, and you have a huge opportunity to make them empowered to be able to do this. So we thank you for taking that opportunity and sharing what you can bring to their experience as a training ride leader.
Yay! Woo! Thank you.
So should we dig in?
Let's dig in.
Okay.
Ta-da! Welcome!
Welcome.
Oh, we're already messing up. All right, so as we kind of said, you're now part of this big diverse community of people, and you play a really integral role in the ride. One fact that I love to share with training ride leaders when they're certifying is that at the end of the ride every year, cyclists and roadies are given a survey, and of the people who actually do the full survey, they typically report that people that attend 10 training rides or more feel 60% more well prepared to do AIDS Life Cycle than people who go on 5 or less. Which, I mean, on a bigger scale, has a huge impact on fundraising. Think about it, if you have somebody who doesn't go on a training ride, but like just hops on their bike, rides 15 miles, gets a flat, doesn't know how to change it, they're probably like, you know what, I don't think I can do this whole AIDS Life Cycle thing. But if people go on an official training ride, they feel like they can actually participate in the event, they fundraise at least $3,000, which is so much money, and that ripple effect just is felt throughout the entire community.
What you help create when you're leading a training ride is a safe community space for people to grow and learn from others in the community about how to fundraise, how to train and be comfortable on their bike. So you're giving a lot more than you probably realize by volunteering to do this. You're creating a really broad spectrum of opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not about just the bike. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you. So today we're going to be going through several different parts of this presentation in like nice little digestible chunks. So this is just the first part. We're also going to be, I think if you click to the next slide, we're going to go over the overview. So there are going to be different parts of the presentation that talk about what the program is like. We're kind of doing that right now. And then responsibilities and roles of training ride leaders.
So we'll hopefully make it very clear as exactly to tell you exactly what it means to be a training ride leader, what we expect of you, what the responsibilities are on any given ride, and then what roles you could possibly play as a training ride leader during the course of a ride.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to go over safety because that is a huge core value in AIDS Life Cycle. And last but not least, certainly, is our emergency protocol. So what to do if something's happened and the rubber meets the road.
Yeah. We'll get into all of those details as we go through.
As we go through.
And, all right, let's dive right into this.
Yeah. So the TRL program, there are certain objectives and goals. Obviously, this wasn't created just for the fun of it. There's actual practical needs here. So as a training ride leader, the first thing we have up on this screen is it's your job to help provide a supportive and uplifting environment to the participants who come on the training rides. John Elliott had a really good point earlier about gender pronouns when we were talking off screen. I think this is yeah.
Yeah, so in the case of us introducing ourselves with our gender pronouns, it's kind of a newish thing to be doing in our society, and a lot of folks feel uncomfortable about that. It seems awkward to a lot of folks. However, we have a very diverse community, and when we make the effort to get past that awkwardness and share our pronouns, that opens a whole window of welcomeness to someone who might feel otherly left out.
Yeah.
So think about that. Think about how you might incorporate that into your introductions at your training rides. It's something we do at the foundation, and I believe you do at the center in LA. And so it takes a little practice, but it is so worth it to be able to welcome someone who might not feel welcome otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, it also just reminds me of like, when I think back to my very first training ride, this girl needed support. Like I needed an uplifting environment. Like I think, I arrived to my first training ride on a hybrid bike.
Me too.
Yeah, in like gym shorts and like a tank top, and like one of my tires was flat and I had no water. And like the training.
You were a mess.
Oh, I was a hot mess. Yes. But had I not had a great experience with the training ride leaders that very first time I showed up, I don't know that I would have come back. So this is really like at the core of the TRL program, is to provide this supporting and uplifting environment so that people keep coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because ultimately, to our second point, these people are trying to bike 545 miles.
You're crazy like you are.
Yeah, they're as crazy as you. You're kind of crazy. So training ride leaders, like all mushy-gushy stuff aside, are trying to help people physically prepare for this endeavor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you again for doing that. So we're incorporating safety in the way we teach cyclists to ride. What you are going to be doing, as you know, because you've done it yourself as a participant, is you're going to be instilling the safety pillars, the rules of the road that we expect our participants to follow into our participants on a weekly basis, hopefully, at your rides.
Yeah.
So this gives the opportunity for the participants to learn by rote all of these habits that we expect them to have in place in June when the ride comes around.
Yeah.
And really this is the best way for people to learn it and to be safe on the roads is because of your TLC as a TRL. And so be aware of that. You're helping foster these habits. And the reason we have these safety rules, because when we have 23 to 2,500 cyclists on the road, there's extra care taken. But we also have a reputation to uphold in the communities we go through, and we need permits from every single town and county and township that we pass through every year. Those permits get to be renewed. So we have to behave responsibly on the road as a group. And that is really why we have so many safety rules to follow.
And that is such a good point, because these cyclists that you're going to be mentoring as a TRL, it's like a monkey see, monkey do situation.
Yep.
You are their literal role model. So if they catch you passing people on the right, they're going to start passing people on the right.
And another big one is not riding single file if you're doubling up, and that's a huge one to correct right away, and to catch yourself in, and because it's easy when you're having a conversation to zoom up next to the person and oops, not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
So it's good practice for you too, to remind you of what the rules are, just having to instill it and correct it in others.
Yeah, and in real time too, because it's one thing if something happens on a training ride and then a training ride leader or another cyclist tells the cycle rep, like, on Saturday I saw so-and-so riding, two abreast, and then all of a sudden it's Wednesday and I'm talking to this person, they're like, what are you talking about? I don't remember that. So as a training ride leader, you do have the opportunity to take like these written rules that they're going to see on paper and online and turn them into like a real-time teachable moment. So that's very, very important. Also, like, just as important as a training ride leader, you're going to be supporting your other fellow training ride leaders, because if you're in the state of California, you have to have a minimum of 2 training ride leaders to even put a ride on the calendar. It's a little different out of state, but I mean, you're supporting each other. We don't need anybody out there like being a martyr for the cause.
And most likely, you're going to be working with a team of TRLs.
Yes.
We suggest a ratio of 1 TRL for every 8 riders. So the bigger the ride, the more TRLs there will be as well. And you're going to work as a team together. So in that, there are different roles that we'll get into specifically that you could possibly play during the course of a training ride, and we'll probably play more than one during the course of the day. So that's kind of fun. It breaks it up as well.
And last but certainly not least, as a TRL, you're helping to provide this life-affirming, positive experience for people. There are going to be moments, and we'll get into this a little bit later, where people, especially if you're like sweeping, think that they physically cannot do something. They have a narrative in their head about their limitations, and you have a really unique opportunity to help steward that person to a place where they change their own narrative. And
sometimes simply reminding folks that they've signed up to do a ride, not a race, makes all the difference in the world. I mean, we joke about that in this community a lot, but it's true. If someone can't complete the mileage every day, that's okay. They need to learn that what they can do, and that's enough.
Yes,
so
yes.
That's part of the mentoring that you'll be doing along the way as well.
Yeah, you'll get those cyclists who are dead set on riding every single mile, and as a TRL, you say, if that's your goal, like, I'm gonna help you achieve it. You'll also get those people who are like, if I can ride 30 miles of every single day, I will feel like I did the entire ride. Then, you know what? It's your job to help them get to the point where that is gonna be the big hurdle that they overcome, their big finish line moment. So we thank you again.
Yes. Thank you for being amazing volunteer TRLs.
You're very kick-ass.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're happy to have you in the program.
Great.